Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about two words you use all the time, probably without even thinking about it. Yes and no. But what if I told you they aren't just words? What if they're actually powerful tools that, believe it or not, help build the very world around you?
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack why these words are so much more than they seem. Then, we'll dive into this really cool idea that language is actually a form of action. We'll zoom right in on the incredible power of saying no, see how it plays off of yes, and by the end, you'll see the hidden architecture that's behind every single conversation you have.
So let me ask you, what are the two most important words you use every single day? I bet yes and no came to mind pretty quickly, right? But here's the thing. They do so much more than just answer questions. They're actually the tools we use, whether we know it or not, to literally build and protect our shared reality.
See, most of us just see them as simple answers, but for linguists, they see them as fundamental actions. Think of it like this. Yes is the action of building, of accepting, of affirming. And no, that's the action of blocking, rejecting, and denying. These two basic actions, well, they're the very foundation of how we talk to each other.
Okay, let's kick things off by really digging into what makes yes and no so incredibly special in the giant universe of language.
So, you've got experts who call yes and no something called foundational speech acts. Now that sounds a little academic, I know, but it's actually a pretty simple idea. It's just a fancy way of saying they're like the basic bricks you'd use to build a house. The only difference? The house we're building here isn't made of clay. It's our shared understanding of reality itself.
Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we need to talk about a truly revolutionary idea, one that totally changed how we think about words. And it's this: when we speak, we're not just saying things, we are doing things.
This all comes from something called speech act theory, and it's a real game changer. The big idea is that our words aren't just passive labels we stick on stuff. Nope, they have real, actual power. They perform jobs for us out in the world, things like making a promise, giving a warning, or saying you're sorry. And for what we're talking about today, the two most important jobs are asserting and denying.
And here's the absolute heart of it. This is the part you really got to get. When you say, I promise I'll be there, you're not just talking about a promise. You are literally making the promise. You're performing the act. And it's the exact same thing with our two little words. Saying yes or saying no is a complete, powerful action all by itself.
Okay, so now that we've established that words are actions, let's zoom in on one of the most powerful and honestly, one of the most underestimated actions of all, the simple, powerful act of saying no.
There's a really modern framework for this. It's called question-answer semantics, or QAS for short. And it takes this whole idea one step further. It basically argues that yes and no aren't just part of the conversation, they are the absolute center of it. They're the sun that the entire solar system of our dialogue revolves around.
And inside this QAS idea, there's this fascinating position called rejectivism. I love this. It says that when you say no, you're not just, saying a negative sentence like, the sky is not green. No, you are performing the pure, unfiltered, powerful act of rejection. It's a direct action, not just a description of something. Let me give you a way to picture this. Think about a conversation like a shared space where you and someone else are building something together with Legos. Now, if someone suggests adding a piece, an idea, saying no isn't just shaking your head. It's like you're physically putting your hand up and stopping that piece from being added to the build. You are actively blocking it. In that sense, no is the ultimate gatekeeper of the conversation.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? A denial is a powerful illocutionary act. It's not passive at all. It's a forceful action that totally changes the game by ruling something out. It's like planting a flag and saying, nope, this idea doesn't belong here.
All right, so let's put these two heavyweights, asserting and denying, side by side. We're going to see how they work together, kind of like dance partners, to shape every single conversation we ever have.
So check this out. You've got these two forces that seem like opposites, but they're both absolutely essential. Assertion, which is our yes. Its job is to accept things, to add new information, to build up our shared world. But denial, our no, its job is to protect that world. It blocks things, it rules things out to keep our shared understanding safe and accurate. So one is like the builder and the other is like the guardian at the gate. You need both.
Okay, I get it. This might all seem a little theoretical, right? You might be wondering, so what? Why does any of this matter in my real life? Well, it matters because it reveals the hidden blueprint, the actual architecture of how we communicate with each other every single day.
Because this isn't just theory for a textbook. These are the invisible rules of the game we're all playing. This explains how we actually manage to exchange information and solve problems. It's how our conversations make any sense at all. And, at the end of the day, it reveals how we work together cooperatively to build a shared view of reality. Every single chat, every argument, every debate, it's all a joint project, and we're building it all brick by brick with a simple yes or a simple no.
So think about this. If yes and no are this powerful, what other simple words are hiding in plain sight, doing incredible work we never even notice? The next time you say yes or no, just for a second, remember what you're really doing. You're not just answering a question. You are performing a powerful creative act. You're either adding a brick to the world you share with someone else, or you're standing guard to protect what you've both already built. You're not just talking. You're building reality, one tiny word at a time.